Good morning, everyone. Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We ask you to watch over this board, give us the wisdom to do what we can for all of Union County. We ask you to watch over our first responders, give them grace, get them home safely. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stephanie, would you do the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Harville,
Here.
Commissioner Pitts,
Here.
Commissioner Miller,
Here.
Commissioner Bierstadt, and Commissioner Gould.
Having a quorum, I'll call the meeting to order. First item is approval of minutes from our regular board meeting held on July 25th. Everybody had a chance to look at those. Any deletions or corrections?
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt, and Commissioner Gould.
Public comments.
Were you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'm here today, the road I live on, I met with the county engineer twice, and have gotten no results. There's a section probably about 250 feet that has been oiled and chipped. And matter of fact, when the road was oiled and chipped, I was the one that oiled and chipped it because I worked for the county highway for 28 years. And it's got a really bad rough spot on it. I have a new vehicle on it. And I think it needs some attention.
We have that on the agenda to discuss here in just a little bit, so we'll get through that. Thank you. Anyone else? Committee reports?
Well, actually, next Tuesday, which is the 12th, we'll have our next meeting down at the, in Ellen for the Southern 5 Planning Commission. So 5:30 in the afternoon by the interstate, close to Triple E restaurant. Everybody is interested, just go on down.
Well, as far as animal control, we're hanging on to about the same as the last meeting, except, y'all watching on Facebook, we've got a lot of puppies now. A lot of puppies, different kinds, shapes, sizes. Some guys will get a puppy. Just help us out. And, literally, monetary donations and kibbles and bits and stuff like that is still greatly appreciated. For that, it's just been a year for dogs this year. Probably most we've ever done. Is it?
Anything else? Thank you, gentlemen. Building permits?
We have one, parcel number 0230011155. I think this is a Triple Z's addition, retail store addition. No floodplain, no subdivision, recommend approval.
Any questions? Motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
I second that.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt, and Commissioner Gould.
All right, old business, still ordinance amending Article 1 of Chapter 18 of the Union County Code of Ordinances regarding food sanitation. I think we get close on this. Tyler's had a lot of stuff. We've had a lot of other stuff a little bit more urgent for him to go through, so hopefully maybe next meeting we'll get that taken off here. We'll take it and continue as old business. New business for paying the bill. Everybody had a chance to get the bill list? Questions?
I make a motion to pay your bills.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt, and Commissioner Gould.
Next item, ordinance amending an ordinance governing commercial solar energy facilities sitting. As you know, we've been working on this. We've got, damn near a library full of paperwork on this already. Angela going through it, or Angie going through it, and conversing with our consultant in Massac County about it. We found some typo errors, different things that needed amended. I'm not gonna go through this list on here. You all can see it, what we did amend. The state's attorney looked over it and approved it. So did the consultant. And so basically, this is a new ordinance, I guess.
It's basically taking the old ordinance completely away and just replacing it with this, because it was easier to do for like formatting the numbers and stuff like that. There is one change I was gonna tell you since I emailed it out to you guys yesterday. The consultant call is very minor, but I had on here the cost of decommissioning cannot be offset by salvage value, and he had me add to the end of it when determining the amount for financial assurance. So basically, because that's what we were talking about, is when you're deciding how much that you have to have for financial assurance bonds, you can't offset it by the salvage value. So he just had me add those couple words to the end of it.
Basically, that is, it goes defunct. They gotta
Mhm.
clean it out, put it back like it was.
Yeah, and this also spells out the, just mostly the changes are spelling stuff out so there's more detail. Like the public hearings, instead of just saying we're having one, it says when it has to be posted, where it has to be posted at, how many days before. So just more information so that everybody's on the same page. So
We're getting close.
I think it's really good right now.
Yeah, we're getting close to moving forward on this. I mean, of course, we have the building permit submitted and so forth, but, the company doing this did not, do everything as the ordinance required. So hopefully we'll get this to them and get it straight and move on from there so they can start construction if they comply with all of it. I make a motion, we approve the ordinance amending an ordinance governing commercial solar energy facility sitting as proposed with the addition that Angie just mentioned.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt, and Commissioner Gould.
Okay. Next item, acceptance of county energy bids.
Looks like our representative
Yeah.
from AGE is here, but if you look at in front of you, the bids from them, we got 3 different proposals, for all for our same supplier, which is Homefield. But you can either do a year, 18 months, or 2 years. So if you look in your packet for a sheet like this, it has your rates on it. So for if you just want a 1-year rate, it's 0.09904. An 18-month rate is 0.09310, and a 2-year rate is 0.10100.
Did we do last time?
Last time we did, we did multiple, it was either 2 or 3, probably 3 years. Yeah, I think we did a 3-year. They're not willing to go out 3 years because they don't know what's going to happen. So I guess it just depends if you guys think the economy is going to bring the price of electricity down or it's going to go up. Because, you know, as you get further in years, like from 1 year to 2 year, the rate is higher, but you're guaranteed that rate for 2 years. So it's a gamble. It's the 18th month might be a sweet spot, or maybe the 12 month if you think in 12 months that things are going to change. I don't know.
Do you have any wisdom to add
I
to
knew that was coming. We generally know about 18 months in advance about what the market's gonna be roughly. The big unknown here is, and this happens every year, the second largest component, so that this is over, there's 6 different components that make up the per kilowatt bid price that you see here. The raw energy is the biggest piece of that. The second biggest piece is called capacity, which is the ability of the suppliers to put energy on the grid. That piece of the puzzle there is bid every year in April by all the producers of energy, or all the suppliers. And based on what that price is, they basically is how much pressure are we gonna have on what we produce that we put on the grid. So every year, that's kind of a roll of the dice on how much pressure is being put on the grid from the energy that's produced. In the upcoming market, just for some guidance, the AI data centers are putting a lot of pressure on the existing grid, which the capacity for them to produce energy is waning until we get more production from maybe new plants or mothballing the coal plants, which I think is kind of where we're headed right now, so we can produce more energy. But there's a lot of pressure on the market now, or on the suppliers now to produce energy. And it looks like, at least for the foreseeable future, that prices are probably going to be increasing. How much that is, we don't know. Again, every April, that big component of the price per kilowatt is probably going to have a lot of upward pressure. So that being folded into all the other pieces of the rate cost is going to be an upward pressure. So I guess in the long term, I would say that the longest term probably that you can get on pricing at this point, even though it might be a little bit higher, might be to your advantage. Ameren currently is at 14.5 cents kilowatt, and that's gonna stay until October. They're gonna reduce their rates to around 11.5. But then again, we got the upcoming April auction of the capacity prices are going to be rolled into the next summer's rates.
How long does it take to increase capacity if you decided to do that? Or assuming you are now, I mean, what kind of time frame are you looking at?
As far as even the suppliers,
Yeah, production and so forth.
I don't know, Mr. Chairman, I just don't know that. It depends on how fast they can ramp up. A lot of the issue is they have plants that are mothballed now. If they can get those
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, back
So if
online.
they decide to put those back online, how long does that take?
At least a year, maybe 18 months. So, you know, it's a lot of, besides the data centers, a lot of the previous federal regulations were to try to offset a large percentage of nationwide production with alternative energy, or, you know, solar, wind, et cetera. The issue with that is that although it sounds really good, it's unreliable as far as when you have peak demands. You know, again, like they said, if the sun doesn't shine or the wind doesn't blow, you know, that production is not available. It's not reliable like burning fossil fuels currently. So there's a lot of pressure on the market right now. So, you know, the foreseeable future is that the prices will be increasing. Now, what that means as far as, you know, ultimate per kilowatt price is hard to estimate, but Ameren was at 9.1 cents 2 months ago. Now they're 14.5. But they are going to reduce it back. That's mainly because of the summer demand. When that demand weakens, they'll go back down. And they've already stated, it's going to be going down several cents per kilowatt. However, then we're going to be back in the same cycle again next April when those capacity options come back to auction.
I don't remember what was the last contract, how much was it?
I don't have it in front of me.
Oh,
I didn't put it
9.3 something. It's
around
right actually, I think it's under. I think it's 0.092 something. It's right under the 18-month one.
Yeah, that sounds right.
We get the Clean Air Act issues resolved, these coal plants will not reopen. I don't believe, so we're in a long haul trying to get these plants back open.
I agree. Yeah, there's a lot, again, it's just going to be a matter of what alternative, you know, of course, they're talking about building additional nuclear plants as well, different parts of the country. It's just going to be speed, I think ultimately speed of being able to build out, you know, additional infrastructure and how fast they can do that, how much money they make available to do that. It's kind of unknown at this point, but
Yeah, pretty much, we don't know.
yeah.
Looking at these rates, I mean, I think 18 months looks like a good rate, but it's completely up to you guys. It's just a gamble.
And what we found, just for a little guides, what we found is the 18-month rate seems to be kind of the sweet spot for all of our contracts now that we do. Of course, we do these every day. And that seems to fall into the best, you know, the best rates of virtually all of my bids. 18 months seems to be kind of a sweet spot. And of course, as Angie had mentioned, the reason that we're not getting bids from the suppliers for the longer terms, like the 36 months, that they just won't quote that because of that capacity piece that we just talked about. They don't know what those capacity prices are going to be, so therefore they're not willing to bid a fixed price now into the future because
Is that basically why we only have one bid this time, you think?
could be, yeah, could be.
I mean, last time we had 2 or 3, didn't we? Yeah, which I was a little surprised that.
Yeah, and we even have some other suppliers too. Now it's affecting the bid that we supply to you, but we also have some other suppliers that are not bidding past 24 months for that very same reason. They just don't want to put their neck on the line, so to speak. You know, if the capacity prices spike, and then they're quoting prices, and they're going to be underwater pretty quick.
So what do you think, guys? I mean,
18 months, and
I think the 18-month thing is, but I'm open to,
Maybe things will change and, yeah.
I'll do it the 18 months.
Yeah, I think we take 18 months.
all right, I make a motion that we approve the contract with Home Field for 18-month period at the rate presented.
Second that.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt, and Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Just give me the contract and we'll get it signed.
Appreciate you coming and giving us the information, so. All right, next item, resolution relating to participation by elected officials in the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund. This is a yearly thing, is it not?
It's every 2
years.
yeah.
Okay. All right. And it's basically just a formality. I'm not gonna read the resolution, you got it in front of you. Any questions about it? We don't have much of a choice.
If you want to allow your elected officials to be in IMRF, yes.
That does exclude the board, so everybody realizes that, so that's the way it's been. All right, I make a motion, we approve the resolution relating to participation by elected officials in the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund as presented.
I second that.
Commissioner Harville,
Yes.
Commissioner Pitts,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Bierstadt, and Commissioner Gould.
Yes.
Okay, next item, discussion on Hess School Road. We've got 2 or 3 or 4 here, basically relating to the highway department to go over. You want to brief us on this one as we go down the list?
Sure, we got contacted, I don't know, a while back from a gentleman on Hesco Road complaining about the speeding, wanted us to put 25-mile-per-hour speed limit signs on Hesco Road. And I think there was a discussion already at a board meeting, and I wasn't here, and I never did get an answer as to whether the board wanted me to proceed with doing a speed study on, rural county or township road, to potentially place speed limit signs.
Well, and it's my understanding that has to be done before you would do this
Right.
on any road, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The problem being is we've got, hundreds of miles of township road, and
None of them have speed limit
none of them
signs.
have speed limit signs on. Once we start putting speed limit signs out, people are gonna see it and go, why isn't there a speed limit, 25-mile speed limit sign on my road? And then, we're gonna be doing speed studies on every single rural road and putting speed limit signs in. It's my opinion that people aren't gonna pay attention to those signs.
Yeah,
They're
you might
gonna
as
drive.
well put up a cow crossing.
And then I just want to throw this in there so make sure that you guys understand this part, but the speed studies that Amy's talking about have to justify the reduction in the speed limit. So where he's saying everybody drives 55 on the road and they should go 25, well, when we do a speed study, it's going to show everybody drives 55. It's not going to justify reducing it to 25. Where like if you had another road where it's windy or hilly and everybody really is driving 30 miles per hour, then the speed study would justify that you could reduce the speed to 30. So it's not just have a speed study and change it. It has to justify that that is the speed people are traveling on the road. So it's not going to help his situation if what he says in the letter is accurate, because he says everybody drives 55 on this road, but we don't want them to. Well, the speed study is going to show you can drive 55 on the road.
And in those instances where we do have hills and curves and stuff, when most people are driving 25, we have like 1 or 2 people that are like flying through there. you know, unless you're gonna post a speed limit sign and then you're gonna post sheriff's deputies out there on a regular basis to write tickets to these people, you know, like, and they are gonna have to happen to be out there at the time when these people are, you know, driving through there fast, you know, it's really not gonna be, people are not gonna pay attention to the signs. And if you start popping them up everywhere, then it's gonna be like sign pollution, people aren't gonna pay attention to any of the signs, so. But
You got anything to add to that?
About Hess School Road.
Not, well,
Or
I mean,
any of them?
there's lots of roads that we keep signs on, I'm in total agreement we do. But if you do it on Hess School Road, I'm gonna be raising my hand asking you for Bower Road too. I think, yes, does it need to be done, and can I post a deputy on every road? No. But it's gonna be a cost, and if you're gonna do one, you need to do the whole county.
Well, yeah, you can't do one, not everything. Speaking of cost, what's, in other words, we're doing a cost study on Hess School Road. It's just for that road. What are we talking about?
well, the cost of the study isn't the issue, you know, like, I can do the study. The cost of, you know, maintaining signs is the issue, you know, you're putting a sign up at each end, and if there are other intersections along the road, you're gonna have to put a sign, you know, on each side of every intersection, you know, because somebody pulls onto the road in the middle of it, you know, like an intersection in the middle of the road, then they're not gonna know because it's only posted at each end. So just putting all of those signs up and maintaining all of those signs, you know, throughout the county is a huge cost. And we've got to hire extra people, you know, we have to have extra money to make the signs, put them up, and then maintain them throughout the life of the signs.
So everybody can hang them in their garage.
How often do you have to hang a sign? Isn't there a length? Like, going down 127, there are signs,
Yeah.
you know,
If it's a really long road, then I'm sure that there's a ever so often length that, you know, but on these rural roads, generally at the end of each, you know, like we're at the end of each entrance onto that road.
So in other
And
words,
then-
everybody's driveway that comes off,
Yeah, you don't have to have one at each driveway, like,
Just
okay,
roads.
so say Hess School Road, the entrance off of 146, you know, there would need to be one right at that entrance, and then I can't remember where it ends.
Friendship School.
The Friendship, there'd have to be one at the end of Friendship School, and then if there's any other main roads that come into that road in the middle, and not just that road, but any road, you know, then we have to have one going each direction off of that.
When I worked at Highway Department, we had a lot of signs stolen.
that's what I'm saying, they end up in somebody's garage on the wall.
Well, we kind of eliminated a lot of that, Max. It was cheaper to buy a tube of grease, and we would, after we get the sign up, we'd coat the back of the sign with grease. Most of the signs are sold at night, so they would get greased all over.
I get it.
I don't know if that's still practice there.
Speak up, guys. I'm not gonna make a decision on this by myself.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think it's a waste of time and money, but
I wonder if it'd be such a way possible to just lower the speed limit on all county roads except the ones that are actually striped like Lick Creek, lower it down to 45 mile an hour versus 55, and that way they'd take care of all of them at one time.
well, that would require signage and cost study. That's right.
But all I'm saying though, if we
Right
lower it,
now, they're all 55.
right, that we would
Unless
lower
we do
that.
the cost study and put the sign up.
I think, maybe Tyler can chime in on this, but I think there is a way to pass a county ordinance that would, by ordinance, lower all of the speed limits, you know, across all of the rural township roads to a certain speed.
Does that eliminate the cost study and the signing?
No, if you pass an ordinance, you've got to do signage saying what you change that county road speed limit to. got to do something to do that.
They'll do you?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you had to sign every one of them, or if it would just be by
Yeah, you're
ordinance.
responsible for, if it's not a statute, you know, if they're changing it, you gotta put them on notice of it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't disagree with these people that signed this, totally, I just feel like if we went through all this to put signs up, the same people that are driving 55 are gonna drive 55, just like on Interstate 57. They know what the speed limit is and they drive 100.
Yeah.
You got signs everywhere. So, I mean, you can't correct stupidity with a sign.
Would there be any precedent in putting up, cameras to catch speeders in the problem areas like that?
The problem is they're not speeding.
Yeah.
The speed limit's 55.
But
They're,
anybody going over 55?
well, not, I can't even believe someone goes 55 on that road. I refuse to drive that road.
Oh, I do too, yeah, I do too.
It barely is wide enough for one car.
Well, Kelly Yard Road, there are spots you can drive 55, there are spots that you can drive 25. You know? I mean, and Dog Walk Road is another example of a road that you can go 55 for maybe 2 miles, but then there's a straight left turn, you know, a right turn. And,
I guess that brings up another question, what he's talking about. If you did a study and put signs up, do you have to put a sign up in a curve sign and reduce speed to this, or you just leave it at whatever it is?
Not if you're reducing the speed limit on the entire stretch. I mean, if you were only reducing the speed limit at a particular curve, then you would.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But you would, I mean, would that be a point of argument on an accident if the road says 55 or says 45 or whatever? But the curve ought to be 30, I mean, legally, I mean, I don't know. Just ask me.
Hypothetically, I guess it could be,
Yeah. Okay.
because there's a lot of, you know,
Yeah,
a lot of, different things that can come into play there.
dumb question.
I wonder if IDOT would have any grants available for signage and things like that on county roads.
There's safety grants out there, available through IDOT, but those are mostly for county roads, like the routes that have federal aid status, so like, Christian Chapel and, you know, like just some of the, like the roads that are like the county highways that have a lot more traffic, you know, those are really the ones that, and they're like Lick Creek Road, we use the safety grant money to put the shoulders on. There's that out there, but I don't know that I would be able to use that for the rural, like gravel or William
Something just
Township roads.
Check into maybe eventually, you know.
But if we got the grant money to put them up, we'd still have to maintain them. So we could get, you know, $100,000 to put up signs all over the county, and then it could cost us, you know, an extra $25,000 every year just to maintain those signs or more, you know. So that would be a consideration too, and you're not gonna get grant money every year to maintain them. You have to come up with that extra money.
I know we have problems with, it seems like certain areas more than we do others. And I'll tell you what, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for tourism and the wine trails and everything, but we're having a lot of people come into the county that normally doesn't drive here every day of the week like the rest of us do. And there's some areas that are more dangerous than others. And I do, just for instance, on I believe it's Aldridge Road going from 127 Compton, there's a sharp curve, and there's actually a pretty good hill there. And they actually try to speed up and go airborne across that hill. And this is on a main county road. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I go on that road every day.
Yeah, and they intentionally try to, they punch it through there, and they try to go airborne. And so
I did my kid.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Sheriff? I think at one time we all did.
So,
But yeah, certain areas are they probably need more attention than others do, you know, for sure.
So Amy, I have a question. What about speed bumps? Can you install speed bumps?
We could, they wouldn't be very good for our snow plows. Speed bumps are, hard to maintain, and it's even harder on the snow equipment in the wintertime. So,
I was
You
just
gotta have
thinking,
signs for speed bumps, you got one big or a bump up ahead.
yeah, and then you're putting signs up and everything, so.
Well, I'm gonna suggest we can continue to monitor this. I don't see that the board needs to take any action at this point. That's just my suggestion. I don't.
Have we had any accidents on Haskell Road?
I had full, when I was there.
Yeah, I agree with you, just keep an eye on this for a while.
I mean, what they're requesting, 20 mile an hour, I mean, there's no way in hell that anybody's gonna drive 20 mile an hour. I don't care if you put a sign up there with 15 feet. They're just not gonna do it. So I just, is that apropos just to, or do I need to table this? Or?
no, you don't need a table. Basically, I mean, you're not voting on anything. We're just having a discussion. Amy just kind of needs some direction. So it
Right.
sounds like we're not interested in her doing a speed study. She needs to be able to get back to this guy, the guy that wrote this, and say, you know, we're not going to do
I
that.
just think at this point, I mean, we'll monitor it, but, I don't think it's worth the time and the dollars involved. And I don't mean that in a crude way. Somebody gets killed out there tomorrow. I mean, I didn't say it's not worth it. I don't mean that. But
Well, unfortunately, common sense would tell people to not drive 55 miles per hour down that road, but we know that,
there's
you
not
know,
a lot of that. around.
exactly. That's unfortunate.
All right, on to the next one then. Discussion of Barringer School Road.
Okay. So, as, you know, Mr. Bridgman, talked about earlier, there's a section of Barringer School Road, like from, middle of the hill, just before you get to his driveway, down past his driveway, that has had some sort of pavement on it at some point in the past. It's, in my opinion, mainly gravel now. There are remnants of pavement there, but hasn't been maintained as a paved road for quite some time. Mr. Bridgman is wanting us to extend the oil and chip, down past his driveway. My main issue with this is that we just passed the oil and chip policy recently where, you know, for extending oil and chip, you know, there are certain criteria. Barringer School Road, the dead end road, doesn't have a lot of traffic on it. It doesn't meet the criteria. And I feel like if we send our crews out there to extend the oil and chip down past Mr. Bridgman's driveway, it will be seen as a favor to a former employee. But I told them I would present this to the board and let them make the decision, because I feel like if I made this decision, it wouldn't be following the policy, and, you know, I have no problem with directing the crews to do it if, you know, if the board is in agreement that it should be done.
Well, I went and looked at that road, and I did, and I do believe seriously it has been overchipped before. My hang up on that is a county road that belongs to us, and we need to take care of that road like it was. And it is rough, I'll agree with that, it is rough. So we're only talking, what, about 240, 250 feet, that's it.
Ken, you won't drive 55 on it.
No.
But I would like to, repeat the statement I made a while ago. I was running the chip spreader. I did that for many years at the county highway. I don't appreciate her disputing my word that it was not oil and chip. I do not tell mistruths. I was running the chip spreader and covered the oil with chips. And I know exactly where that road went to with oil and chip, and it's plain to see. That's where I stand.
When was that about, do you know?
It's whenever Bill Boyd was here, you know. I couldn't tell
That's
you.
before my time, sorry. I don't know when that is.
Bill Boyd was the county engineer, but I don't know. Most of you guys tell me, I've lived here my whole life, I don't go around telling things. And it's just not for me. There's 8 other vehicles that's driving across that road, and I might say that last year during the ice storm, our road was impassable. I didn't call the county because I knew they had so much to do. My grandson and I took my tractor and we cleared the road. I worked on the road. You can ask any of the neighbors, clean ditches out, leaf wads, and I don't mind doing that. I'm glad to do it. But when you get slapped in the face like this, that you tell me I'm not convinced this was oil and chip, it's the same as calling me a liar.
I say we need to take care of that road. How long is this road? It used to run on through years ago. Where'd that road actually come out of?
They come out over on McDuffie Lane.
Yeah, just, I couldn't think of that road. Now, I don't know, it's probably past his house, there's probably another 4 or 5 houses back that way. That road is, I can get it when it closed down, but I used to drive through there.
It was before my time. Yeah, it closed, yeah, before. And it also went out, come out on Hewitt Lane too.
How many houses are on the road? Just curious.
One, two, about 9. Well, a couple of them trailers.
I don't have, I mean, no bigger section than that is, I mean, cost-wise, yeah, it costs, but, and it's not at the top of the list on the schedule that we have, I understand that. I don't, my only concern is if we jump in and do this, I don't know necessarily that everybody would relate to the fact that Mr. Bridgman worked for the highway department, it's favored him. Some would. I just have a concern that then Joe Snyder on Timbuk Lane Road is going to say, I mean, not very many people know our schedule or even that we have one. So it's kind of, I just think it's a possibility we're opening up a can of worms as far as, you know, you need to come do my road too. It's only 800 feet.
And we do have other locations in the county too, where we had, you know, pavement of some sort on the road. I guess years ago, BAM was really inexpensive, and we would put BAM on hills and curves and stuff like that to keep the gravel from washing off and stuff. And, you know, and so now that it's not cheap, you know, we don't use that anymore, and we've kind of let all of those areas go to gravel again. And we have many people that call us up every year that say, you know, my road was paved once and now it's not, and we want you to come out here and repave the section. So I kind of feel like, you know, if we're gonna do this, we need to do that for all of those locations, all of those people that call in and complain.
Well, we may have to. I mean, I guess that's my point.
I'm not against doing this, don't get me wrong, that's not what I'm saying. I think we just need to be prepared for what's to come from it. And that's no reflection on you, Doug.
Well, Max, I mean, Clint's been out there and.
Oh, I know, I have too, and I get that. I'm not disputing the fact that it needs to be done.
And it would take very little black grease or band right now to smooth it out a little bit. I mean, it wouldn't take much. I even told her, if you bring some out in the truck, I'll take my tractor, I'll level it out. But man, it's a pain to drive across right there.
So I'm just saying, I think,
And like I say, it was more than shit. I put my hand on the Bible.
well, I'm not disputing that. I'm just saying that we need to be prepared to what this possibly could lead to. I just want everybody to think about that. I'm not against doing it. It's not that big a section. That's not the issue, so.
Can I ask you, does the mailman go back there, does he?
Yes,
Is there a school bus that goes back there?
not anymore.
Not anymore, but they used to.
Yes.
I think we ought to have some kind of, of course, we're constricted to budgets. Everybody has a budget, and maybe we ought to schedule people like this within some kind of time frame, where we can work it into our budget and we don't have a budget buster, in other words. We have an onslaught of 25 driveways that are all county owned, and we can't afford to do everybody at one time, you understand,
Well, basically, we have that from the standpoint of we have a working list
Yeah.
of adding more oil and chip each year, a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
But that is prioritized as far as traffic and everything else, so.
A number of houses. The other, I mean, this isn't helping this situation directly, but, if you remember several years ago, because it was back when Kevin Grammer was here, the board wanted, old wooden bridges prioritized to get rid of them and replace them. And so Kevin made a list of them, and then we actually allocated more budget money to the highway department for bridges replacement and told Kevin, concentrate on replacing bridges. So, I mean, if this is something that you guys are interested in really putting more money into, then next year at budget time, we would give more money to the highway department and say, we want you to focus on changing roads from gravel to oil and chip. So you have that option, but that won't be till the next budget. That's just,
I think
big
that's
picture.
something we should consider at budget time, definitely have to look at the numbers and see
Yeah.
how much we can increase it and do this gradually, not just his road, but,
Just an aside to that, point too, the, wood deck bridges, I think there was like 100, 150, or no, not
Oh.
150, there was like 50 of them or something like that, I can't remember. There was a lot of wood deck bridges to begin with,
yes.
and I think we're down to like 6.
Yeah, there were over 100.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So putting that money there really helped to get those taken care of. And I think the ones that are left might be a little longer.
Yeah, one of them is getting replaced this year, the Union Springs Road Bridge is getting replaced this year. And then one of them, because we did that runaround, where we're bypassing the Winstead Road Bridge, that one's getting taken out and not replaced at all. We're
So we'll be
doing
down to
away
about
with
4.
that one completely. And then, we have a couple that are on private driveways that I think those were the last on the list just because they only benefit one house. And then we have a couple more that are in design right now for replacement. So, I mean, we're getting very close to having those
All done.
done.
So,
Once you create a list, then put down
He's got it fixed.
roads that we need to.
she has a list. Is that what you're talking about? She has a list of the roads in priority by traffic, number of houses, stuff like that to convert. And they do some every year. But if you're wanting to focus, we need to put more money into it.
Helpful.
What'd you ask?
Put the dollar amount through that road.
Oh, approximately.
Yeah.
I mean, that would help as far as budget time.
Yeah,
goes.
that would help with budget times, there's no, it may not be the ideal situation that you're gonna have to wait 2 years. But you are scheduled for 2027.
Well, and we do have in the policy that we looked at earlier this year, we do have the option for people to pay. Like if they're at the end of a paved section of road and they want the oil and chip, extended past their driveway or whatever, they can pay for the materials and we, provide the labor to install the oil and chip.
This is probably 12 years ago, but I had a good friend that had about a 3/4 of a mile of just gravel. And he was willing to pay for it to be oiled and not oil and chipped asphalt. He was gonna pay for it, all the costs, the equipment. And Kevin said, we have enough roads to maintain, we're not gonna do it. And I was furious because, you get it done once, you got 10 or 15 years behind you.
Hey, may I speak again? Sure. Here's one of the problems with that little section of the road. I've put some gravel in it. It's got that hard surface underneath it. And probably all of you here, what we call pothole in the road. If you just put gravel in that pothole, it won't stay. It'll just beat right back out. This hard surface, the gravel just beats off, rolls off. You can't hold it there. And to get rid of the pothole, you gotta use scar power teeth to rip out the low pothole. And, I am asking you all if you will put this road the way it was.
We need to vote on this or just take consensus?
You don't need to vote, Amy just needs direction. It's not a vote thing, it's just
Give
the
me,
majority of you need to decide.
give me opinion.
I would need fixed road. I believe it's not that long road, but I think we ought to have some kind of a plan for other ones to come up in the future like that.
All right. We'll do it.
Thank you.
Will it be able to be done this year?
I'll have to check and see where we're at, but
I understand that, Doug. I mean,
Yeah.
it'll be prioritized, but it may not get there.
When they get there, I guess what you need.
Yeah, depending on,
Yeah, I don't expect you to run all the
Amy.
equipment out there.
When is oil and chip season kind of come to an end? Because I know when weather makes, you have mostly a season, so when winter time do you end?
well, you don't want to oil and chip past like November. Like,
Okay.
I wouldn't want to be running into November, but generally we're done way before that.
Okay.
Once we run out of tankers, and that would be right now, we've got the northeast corner of the county left to do, and we only have so many tankers left, so we have to get all of the maintenance of the current oil and chip roads done first and see, how much oil we have left to see if we can hit that spot.
so you understand that, though?
Okay.
Okay, all right.
All right.
All right, very good. All right. Next one. This is a good one. Discussion on Water Valley Road.
That's actually supposed to be Walnut Valley.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Another valley.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it says on the sheet I've got here. Okay. This gentleman, Mr. Winters, has contacted me at least 60 times in the last 2 years, 3 years, I don't know. Throw out an explanation about it. I mean, I know what's going on, but I don't know if everybody else does or not. I mean, he just
very honest, he's wearing me out.
Yeah, yeah. So, I met with Mr. Winters, his house is off of Walnut Valley Lane, and his issue is
Which
with.
comes out on the Lick Creek Road.
Yeah, at the intersection of Walnut Valley and Lake Creek Road. He has two concerns. The first thing that he, wanted was for the county to widen the intersection. It is currently 55 feet wide at the intersection of Walnut Valley and, Lake Creek Road. He wants the county to add another 10 feet onto it. And he said that you can't pull up at a perpendicular to the road there. And the day that I met him out there, I pulled up in a county truck, and I was able to pull up perpendicular to the road. And,
Yeah.
and then after I discussed it with him for a while, and I was like, well, I was able to pull my truck up, at a 90-degree angle to the road, so I could see both ways. And then I got it out of him that it's not normal vehicles, it's his son that has a truck with a full-size camper that he can't pull up at a 90-degree angle. He has to come in at an angle. And so, yes, we can go out there and widen this intersection, but if we widen this intersection for him, for his son's camper to be able to pull up to the road, like anybody that comes in that has a truck and a camper that,
This is just never ending.
yeah, we have probably, like, literally every intersection in the county would not be able to accommodate that, unless it was already at a perpendicular angle and, so we'd be going and widening them all. And then the second thing was, trees, with sight distance, he said that, there's not enough time, there's not enough sight distance there. So, myself and, Scott both went out there and looked at it and timed the vehicles coming around the curves that we, from the time we could see them until they reached the intersection. And, there's about 7-second delay from the time you see, the first, vehicle coming around the corner to, they reach the intersection. And, so your typical, sight distance, time like that is 4 to 6 seconds. So it's a little bit more than like the recommended sight distance. And, what I explained to him when I was out there was that the trees that he's wanting to cut, the way the road curves, if you cut the trees, you're really only gonna gain like maybe a half to 1 second by cutting all of those trees in that area. It's not gonna, because the road's not straight, it's curved, it's not gonna give you that much more time. And he was like, well, I almost hit a motorcycle rider that was, coming around the corner, and he was like driving 80 miles an hour. And I was like, okay, well, if you've got a motorcycle rider driving 80 miles an hour, that's not gonna help anyway. It's still gonna be in a situation where, you're not gonna have enough time to pull a camper and a truck out onto the intersection, so.
The trees are the thing that he's bitched at me about for 2 years.
Yeah.
Did we determine, are any of them on the county right away?
They are, well, some of them are. So if you look at the, did you get the memo that I
Yes,
sent out?
if you look at
with
this one that
colored
has the lines.
So the white line at the bottom, that's the area that needs to be cleared to get 1 extra second of sight distance time. And so everything on the ends, like all of the trees and stuff that are on the ends of that, those are all within the county right of way. But all of the brush and the trees that are in the middle of that, some of that's not in the county right of way, so we wouldn't be able to trim those anyway. So we could trim the ones on the ends, and then it still may not increase the sight distance to a full additional second, because we wouldn't be able to cut any of that stuff in the middle, because it's not on the county right of way.
Some trees have been removed already, am I correct?
Yeah, we've cut trees down that are in the right of way in that area. And I did talk to Scott, and Scott's gonna have the guys go out there with a brush cutter and cut some of that low brush back in that area, and that might help a little bit. But the big one, is there's a like 36-inch oak tree out there that's kind of in that range, you know. But we don't have the equipment to cut that down. We don't, you know, not on a busy road like that. We'd have to hire somebody to come out and cut that down. So, you know, that would be, you know, I don't know, maybe $1,000-$1,500 to have that big tree cut down on Lick Creek Road. And then we get it cut down, and then there's other stuff that's like right behind that, you know, we could be cutting it down for nothing because they still wouldn't be able to see any more than they can now.
And again, the common denominator is speeding again.
Yes.
I don't think you could get that tree cut down for $1,500.
Oh.
I didn't know, it'd be a lot more than that, a big tree.
Well, can we cut the others down that are on the right of
That
way?
brush,
The brush and whatever's on the right of way?
Yeah.
At least do that
to see where we're at.
and then see what it looks like.
Yeah.
That might give me a 2 months breath.
And then the leaves will fall off in.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we're coming on winter, so maybe it'll ease everybody's pain. I'm not wanting to go out and hire somebody to cut that big tree down, but if we can clean out everything else that's on the right of way, it's on our right of way, we need to do it. So what we can do. And maybe that will appease somewhat. If you don't care to do that, I appreciate it. So is that okay with everybody? Good. I mean, if it's not on the right of way, then no, we ain't touching it. You know, and as far as the width of the drive, 55 feet, hell, that's a tractor trailer. I mean, you know, that's sufficient as far as I'm concerned.
Let's say, what would that 10-foot section that's yellow on that sheet, what would that cost to rip it? You know, granted, pour a load of concrete on top of it so it doesn't disappear.
Well, if we widened, it's just gravel right now. If we widened it, we wouldn't put concrete out there. We would just put, you know, build it up with some dirt and put some extra stone out there. So it wouldn't, like the materials alone wouldn't cost that much. I mean, it would just cost labor and stuff to go out there and do it. The problem is that, you know, if we go out there and widen that, then I feel like we need to do it like every time somebody comes in and wants a wider area because they can't pull their trailer out or the camper out and stuff, then we need to, you know, and that's, every time you say yes to somebody like that, then you've got a whole like list of other, you know, things that you're gonna have your crews out doing instead of, you know,
I agree.
actually maintaining the roads.
They knew what they had when they bought it, so,
Yes.
I mean, this isn't something that.
I just think it's a safety issue. We clear out what we can.
Mhm.
That would help us maybe legally if something would happen. If it's there, you know, somebody's gonna say we didn't take care of the right of way and can't see, so.
Don't the individual have to buy that pipe and all that? I mean, whenever I done it to one of my roads or fields, I had to buy the culvert and the gravel and everything myself.
Yeah, I don't, well, it's a intersection for a township road to a county road. It's not a driveway. So if you wanted to widen your driveway, yes, you would have to buy the extra culvert pipe and the gravel and stuff, you know. But this is not his driveway.
Oh,
This is,
That's a road.
it's like the intersection of the road that
Yeah,
leads to
that's-
his driveway.
I got you, yeah.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
Yep.
All right, last one. Trinity Cemetery access driveway. Angie, I'll let you.
Okay, so if you go to, it's just a single page that has the graph on here. If you look at the little square that actually says 018 in it, it's like towards the middle bottom of your page, that is Trinity Cemetery. So If you look at the little road that kind of goes around it, the gentleman is asking to basically have an easement to put a driveway off of the back of this road. If you look, there is a little portion of the Trinity Cemetery Road that's actually on his land that he says an easement was given to, but we can't find it in writing. So if you decided to do this, we would have it written up, we're giving you this easement, you're giving us this easement, so that this old one is actually in writing, because can't find that it is. But I don't see why we wouldn't. He's agreed to basically help maintain the road because there'll be more traffic on it. Amy took a stab at writing an easement. I'm gonna look over it, get with Tyler also, get him involved to make sure that it's written up correctly. But how we would write it up is basically, the highway department is going to do the normal maintenance on it. So I don't know if they come out there, I'm making this up, every other year, then we're going to continue to come out here every other year. But if there's maintenance that needs done in the meantime because you're traveling it, then you're responsible for hauling in that gravel. And he's agreed to do all of that. So,
So everybody knows, which we discovered, did not know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we own that cemetery. I
So-
didn't know that, nobody else did. I mean, that's back in the 1800s.
back in like 1891, I think they gave us the cemetery, which I had no idea.
Is it maintained? I mean, the cemetery?
They maintain it.
People that, have
Families
families.
there.
Yeah, it's not that big, I don't know.
Have they got a cemetery board, have they?
No.
Is this gonna be for a residential use or just an access for hunting and?
Well,
I think eventually it's gonna be residential.
He's saying he just wants it there for just to have, but he's getting ready to parcel out some of his land. So I'm thinking he's gonna end up selling it. And he says right now, no, he's not. So, but he's parceling it out and needs a driveway to the back.
I think the possibility too of him building something is down the road is,
Access to it.
so.
Where is this?
South, if you go out Lick Creek Road, where Bill Cunningham's old house is, and then the new one. At the old house, you turn right, going toward Lick Creek, and go up that road right there.
There.
Yeah, my family actually sold him some of this ground, whatever. But anyway, so we're good with,
So you guys are good with it, then I'll look at Amy, what she wrote,
yeah.
make changes or send it on, however, and make sure Tyler's okay with it before we sign it.
He's probably gonna come back to us on something else on this eventually, but just so you know.
Okay.
But, one thing really doesn't have anything to do with the other, so, anyway. But yeah, we can let him know that the stipulations as far as the maintenance of it.
Yep.
And that type of thing, so. And I told him that on the phone, that if he did this, that he would be involved in that, so.
Yeah.
I think he understood, so. All right. Nothing for executive session that I'm aware of.
Hey, actually, Max, I forgot to tell you, can we go into executive session? We need to discuss an employee.
All right. It's 9:40, August the 8th, 9:40 a.m. Need to go into executive session to discuss employees. All those present? Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
We agree to go into executive session.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Take a quick break.